But in the 19th century, they were using clay. And clay, they can withstand about 2,000 degrees, but only once before they start cracking. So they would have been single use. So it would have been a job for a potter making those all day long. That would have been working for the mine as well, so another expense. Now with the gold, we put in some powder. It's called a flux powder. These days we use borax. Borax doesn't stick to the gold, but it does stick to the impurities. So when we put it in the furnace and we smelt the gold, the impurities will float to the top because they're lighter. And they'll stick to that borax. And they'll make a crust. Then when we pour the gold out, that crust will slide to the back and stay there. So what we're going to be left with is 24 karat gold. And that'll be happening in about 30-40 seconds time. So the gold's starting to crumble right now. So it's at least 1,064 degrees. But I have to get the gold hot enough that I have enough time to get it from the furnace to the table and then poured out without it going soft. So I'll bring it up to 1,200 degrees. Get in there. So about 20 seconds time I'll be pouring the gold. So if you want to take a photo or film it, get your cameras ready. Make sure you don't come any closer than what you already are as well. This is the dangerous bit.
इधर ही वहाँ नहीं क्लोज नहीं जाना
A little bit left in there. Would anyone like to lick the bowl? Now, believe it or not, during the gold rush, gold was actually, in pragmatic terms, pretty useless. It's really soft, it's really heavy, you don't really need it. That's not the case these days. Gold is a very good conductor of electricity, second only to silver. So it's used in pretty much all major electronics. It's also a very good conductor of heat. So if it's given the opportunity to give its heat off to something, it'll do so very quickly. So right now, this gold is off to about 300 degrees and is solid.
That's gold?
But having lost 300 degrees, it is still too hot to be able to hold with your bare hand. So it's sitting at about 900 degrees. So another property of gold that makes it so useful in electronics and machinery, it doesn't radiate any heat. So I can feel the heat coming off the crucible from here. So I can hold the gold right up next to my face and not feel any heat. So if left to its own devices, that gold will take about 2 to 3 hours to actually cool down enough to be able to safely hold it in your hand. I'm sure you've got other things you want to do at Sovereign Hill rather than just sit there and watch it cool down, right? Okay, let's leave it. Alright.
That's 24 karat gold now. Dad, that's going to be 24 karat gold.
Alright. That gold was about 1,200 degrees when it came out of the furnace. Then when it came out of the mould, it would have been about 900, give or take. And now, after about 10 seconds in the water, it's actually safe for me to pick up with my bare hand. Oh!
That's scary.
And we're left with 3 kilograms of 99.99% pure gold. So otherwise known as gold bullion. Now in this shape it's called an ingot. So all that would happen now with this gold, it will be stamped with the quality, the weight, and the company name. then it would be sent down to Melbourne under a guarded escort. So the Redcoat soldiers that you might see later on today at 3 o'clock, the main reason they were here in Australia was for escorting gold fields to the ports. Now, this piece of gold would have arrived on Earth about 3.9 billion years ago. That's when we think gold arrived. It would have been dug up sometime in the last 170 years,